today we're going to have a look at an interesting pen. This pen was lent to me by Appelboom, and you know, if you go to my website you can get a discount from Appelboom, but unfortunately it shan't apply to this pen because this is a Montblanc, and Montblanc doesn't allow discounts. We're talking about the Miles Davis. It's the Great Characters series Montblanc does. White outer box and then a nice inner box. This series commemorates politicians, scientists, and in this case a musician. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then we'll do a writing sample. This is the box, the profile of Miles Davis, right? There is also a Miles Davis ink, kind of blue. It's called Jazz Blue, but it's kind of blue. You'll see it in the writing sample. I'm just going to put this away here. The box in itself, pretty. Fairly simple, but sometimes that's all you need. There is a little, well actually it's not that little, there's quite a booklet accompanying this, which has instructions on how to fill it, has of course a picture of Miles Davis, you know, these kinds of things. And I do think, I will say that I do think Montblanc usually has very nice accompanying booklets. A lot of care and attention, nice full color pictures. It really looks luxurious, it feels luxurious. And then we have the pen. Of course, Miles Davis, for those of you who do not know, was known for his magnificent grasp of the trumpet and playing the trumpet. So this is a trumpet themed pen. Let's have a look at it and see what it's all about. Top of the pen, right there, you have the Montblanc, snowflake, white star, peak of the Mont Blanc, etc. And on top there, I'm fairly certain this is supposed to be a trumpet button, because that's what it looks like to me. Here you obviously have trumpet buttons, what I assume is a mouthpiece. I don't know what this silver circle is about. I don't know if that is supposed to represent the actual end of the trumpet. It's a little dissonant to me. I don't really get it. So you have those trumpet buttons there, and then you have these weird lines. Now, each single one of these lines, it's a little hard to make them catch the light well, but each of those lines represents a specific genre of music, hard bop, etc. that Miles Davis played. So there's various shapes, and that's really something that you can see in pictures better than in video, I think. Okay, then we have the end of the barrel there, and then you get to the piston turning knob, and this is supposed to represent a mouthpiece. Mouthpiece of a trumpet, of course. Unscrew the cap, and then you have the nib. On that nib is the profile of Miles Davis again. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's right there. The section is very simple, pretty straight shape with threads there. And what else is on the nib? It says 4810, it has the Montblanc logo, and this is a 14 karat gold nib. I think that's all there's to it. Just for the record, the clip is really quite springy. I think that is spring loaded, because there's no way this would bend that much otherwise. And the pen has a very decent length. It's not a small pen, and there's a lot of metal on this, so it's really quite heavy. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, there's a couple of things that I do like. I like the size of the pen, and I do like that Montblanc typically puts a lot of details in, like these lines that represent Miles Davis's music styles. Clearly a very trumpet themed pen, and they do try to incorporate a lot of that. In itself a nice pen. I did find it heavy, pretty top heavy. This is also not a pen that posts, but that would, wouldn't really work either anyway. I found it heavy, especially near the back, piston filler, and this is all metal. I feel it drag a little bit as I write. I found the nib, especially for a medium, to be particularly feedbacky. It's not an ultra smooth nib. It wrote fairly well, occasional skips, but mainly after applying a little bit of pressure to the nib. It is not a flex nib, nor is it marketed as such, so that's not necessarily a big problem, but could be an issue. Finally, I think I complain about this pretty much every time with these special edition Mont Blancs, but there is no ink window, and the pen is not transparent, so you have no way of knowing how much ink is left, which could be a little bit annoying. The final thing that I had issues with, it's all nicely done. It's cleanly rounded off. The threads are a little sharp, but it's not really a big deal. The section is big enough to use. But this turning knob is pretty easy to use, and even if I do just a little bit, the pen is pretty full right now. I can already see ink pooling at the top of the section. And to me, this doesn't really look like a traditional piston turning knob. Of course they went for the trumpet theme, but it's easy to operate, and as if you were to give this to someone, I can easily see someone turning this, because it looks like it's an interesting thing. There's even, I don't know how well you can see that, but there is a little bit of a sort of a spiral on the inside of this thing, and I don't know, I just find it too easy to operate, and of course you would expel your ink, etc. Finally, the thing I will comment on is I don't particularly care for the looks of this pen. I understand what they were trying to do. I understand they went for the buttons, the trumpet, the mouthpiece. It all makes sense given who the pen is supposed to commemorate, but I don't like the shape of this. To me, this looks like some science fiction device that you hold like this and you have little buttons there and a little laser beam comes out or something. To me, it doesn't work. Highly personal, of course, but I would never buy this. Speaking of which, what are we talking about? I'm talking about 880 euros. It's not a cheap pen, but as I said, it's one of the part of that Great Characters series they do. It's definitely well made. The craftsmanship is fine, no issues there. It's all nicely polished, nicely rounded off, pretty good tolerances as you would expect from a pen at this price. So I see all of that. I see that the quality is there. I just the looks are not working for me personally. Okay, having said all of that, high resolution pictures as well as dimensions of the pen will be on the website sbrebrown.com. I hope this was useful so far. I thank Joost for lending me the pen. I'll send it back to you. We need to see a writing sample. That's coming up next. And I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with the Mont Blanc Miles Davis. The nib is medium and the ink is the Miles Davis Jazz Blue. A slightly feedbacky nib, but on this very smooth Rhodia paper, I think it works fairly well. Quick comment on the Miles Davis ink. I have to admit I have seen more vibrant blues, but alright, I guess they went for a kind of blue. And as you can see, the nib does do very well. It doesn't really skip. It's very nice. Wetness, of course, also an issue of or property of the ink. Rhodia paper, but a pretty wet writer, so very nicely tuned nib. Line variation. There is some, but this too I find a relatively stiff nib. Reverse writing, for those of you who enjoy such a thing, it goes very, very dry and it just does not really work. Okay, Joost, thank you for lending me this pen. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.